A ship doesn't just sink, it dies. Anonymous Sailor, 1941. War at sea is unlike any other battlefield. There are no trenches, no cover, no retreat. When steel meets torpedo, when fire meets fuel, when a ship begins to list, every sailor knows the truth. The ocean decides who lives and who doesn't. Across more than a century of warfare, thousands of ships have been lost, but only a handful of wartime naval sinkings were ever captured on film. Real footage, real sailors, real chaos unfolding in front of the camera. These recordings are more than historical documents. They are the final heartbeat of ships that once carried hundreds of lives. They are the last moments of men who fought, prayed, panicked, and sacrificed everything. Today, we explore 5 wartime naval sinkings captured on film. From modern missile strikes to the death of the largest battleship ever built, ending with the rarest naval footage in existence. This is not just history. This is the ocean remembering. 5. Rox Cheonan, 2010. The ship that split in two. The explosion was so violent, most sailors never saw it coming. March 26, 2010. A quiet night in the Yellow Sea. The South Korean corvette Rox Cheonan patrols near Bangyeong Island, a region tense with decades of conflict. The crew is relaxed. Some are joking. Others are writing letters home. At 9:22 p.m., without warning, a massive shockwave tears through the hull. The ship doesn't just shake, it breaks. A North Korean torpedo, fired silently from a midget submarine, strikes the Cheonan amidships. The blast lifts the vessel out of the water, snaps its spine, and plunges the stern into darkness. Survivor quote: "The lights went out, the floor tilted, and then nothing, just cold water rushing in. The ship splits into 2 pieces, the bow drifts, the stern sinks in minutes. Rescue crews film the aftermath. Divers descending into black water, families waiting on the pier, the grim recovery of sailors trapped in air pockets. 46 men die. The footage is raw, modern, and heartbreaking. A reminder that naval warfare didn't end with World War II. It simply changed weapons." 4. The Russian cruiser Moskva, 2022. The Black Sea Inferno. The flagship of the Black Sea Fleet was supposed to be unsinkable. April 2022. The Russian-guided missile cruiser Moskva, pride of the Black Sea Fleet, sails south of Odessa. Then Ukrainian forces fire 2 R-360 Neptune anti-ship missiles. Satellite imagery, drone footage, and sailor-recorded videos capture the aftermath. Smoke pouring from the port side, the ship listing heavily, lifeboats deployed, explosions echoing from inside the hull. Survivor quote: "We were told everything was under control, but the deck was burning. The heat was unbearable." The Moskva loses power. Fire spreads to ammunition stores. The crew abandons ship. Hours later, the cruiser rolls and sinks in stormy seas. Though the exact moment of sinking wasn't filmed, the verified footage of the burning, dying ship is some of the most significant naval imagery of the 21st century. A modern warship, armed with missiles, radar, and electronic warfare systems, defeated by a pair of well-placed strikes. The Moskva's death proved a brutal truth. Even in the age of satellites and drones, the ocean still claims giants. 3. Yamato, 1945. The death of the largest battleship ever built. When Yamato died, the ocean itself seemed to explode. April 7th, 1945. Operation 10 Go. The Japanese super battleship Yamato, the largest battleship ever constructed, sails on a one-way mission toward Okinawa. Her orders? Beach herself, become a fortress, fight to the last shell. But the U.S. Navy knows she's coming. Hundreds of American aircraft descend on the Yamato. Cameras mounted on dive bombers and torpedo planes capture the attack in real time. The footage is staggering. torpedoes slamming into the port side, bombs erupting across the deck, columns of water towering over the ship, fires raging from bow to stern. Survivor quote, "The deck was so hot our boots melted. Men were jumping into burning water." After more than 10 torpedo hits, Yamato begins to capsize. At 2:23 p.m., her forward magazine detonates. The explosion is so massive, it sends a mushroom cloud 6 kilometers into the sky. Over 3,000 sailors die. Only 276 survive. The death of Yamato, filmed by U.S. aircraft, remains one of the most dramatic naval destructions ever recorded. 2. HMS Barham, 1941. The explosion that shocked the world. The ship rose out of the water like a wounded animal, then vanished. November 25, 1941. The British battleship HMS Barham sails with the Mediterranean Fleet. German submarine U-331 fires a spread of torpedoes. A British cameraman aboard HMS Valiant is filming the fleet and captures everything. 3 torpedoes strike Barham's port side. The ship begins to list. Sailors scramble across the tilting deck. Some jump, some cling to railings. Some continue firing anti-aircraft guns, refusing to abandon their posts. Survivor quote, "We knew she was dying, but we didn't expect what came next." At 4:27 p.m., Barham rolls to port. Then, her magazine detonates. The explosion is apocalyptic. A fireball erupts from the hull. The ship lifts out of the water. The bow and stern twist apart. Smoke engulfs the sky. The cameraman keeps filming, capturing one of the most shocking naval explosions in history. 862 men die. The footage was so devastating the British government suppressed it for months. Even today, the Barham explosion remains one of the most haunting wartime recordings ever made. 1. SMS Shent Istvan, 1918. The only World War I battleship sinking ever filmed. The camera didn't shake. The sailors did. June 10, 1918. The Austro-Hungarian dreadnought Shent Istvan steams through the Adriatic Sea. Italian MAS torpedo boats, small, fast, and deadly, slip through the darkness. At 3:25 a.m., MAS-15 fires 2 torpedoes. A cameraman aboard the battleship Tegethoff begins filming. What he captures is unlike anything else in naval history. The torpedo wakes slicing across the water. The distant flash of impact. Shent Istvan slowing, then listing. Sailors running across the deck. Officers shouting orders drowned by the sound of rushing water. Survivor quote, "The ship groaned like a living thing. We felt her dying beneath our feet." For 2 hours, the battleship struggles. Pumps fail. Boilers flood. The list increases. The cameraman keeps rolling. At 6:12 a.m., Shent Istvan rolls onto her side. Sailors scramble up the hull. Some jump, some cling to ropes. Some stand frozen, staring into the camera. The last images of their lives. Then the ship slips beneath the waves. The film ends. This is the only battleship sinking ever captured on camera during World War I, and the most haunting naval footage ever recorded. Ships are more than steel. They are floating cities, floating families, floating worlds. When they die, they take stories with them. Stories of courage, fear, sacrifice, and fate. The footage we've seen is rare not because naval sinkings are rare, but because cameras were rarely there when it happened. These 5 recordings are windows into moments when history turned, when sailors faced the impossible, when the ocean demanded its price. From the modern tragedy to the Chionen, to the burning death of the Moskva, to the apocalyptic end of Yamato, to the explosion of Barham, to the silent, eerie sinking of Shent Istvan. Each film is a reminder. War at sea is unforgiving. The ocean remembers everything. And the camera, when it's there, captures not just the sinking of a ship, but the final heartbeat of the brave men and women who served on it. If this documentary changed how you see naval warfare, share it, and tell us below which sinking hit you the hardest. And why do these moments of real history stay with us long after the ships are gone? Stay blessed and stay curious.